engineering student and a budding entrepreneur. He has successfully launched two startups at a young age. His latest startup is run under the name of New Normal Technology, which offers UV disinfection solutions to create a COVID-free environment. In March 2020, he was interviewed by Radio Nasha 91.9 because of his persistent efforts to make WHO-grade hand sanitizers for the different. He's a strong believer in the concept of lifelong learning and keeps himself busy by acquiring new skills. Certainly, versatile and efficient is a phrase that describes him the best. We welcome you to share your experience.
Thanks a lot, Krish. It's so good to be back here. Again, it would be much better if we were in school down there, but these conditions, in these conditions, it's not feasible. So since it's a virtual thing, I would like to just share my screen first, and you could just tell me what do you guys see. So
it's blank.
Exactly, it's blank. So that used to be my reaction when someone used to tell me, what do you want to be when you grow up? What is your passion? What is your calling? So I used to be blank. I never knew what my calling is, where my passion lies. So it was a very odd journey for me. And I'm just a normal person. But then somewhere down the line, I realized that it's these normal people who have these abnormal stories. So from being a person who did not know where his calling lies to be someone who has some idea, it's been a long journey, and I would like to share that by talking about something that I'm very good at, exceptionally good at, in fact. That is making mistakes. So my first mistake, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but in 9th and 10th standard, I used to be an above average student, extremely inclined and oriented towards science and maths. And I used to make the science projects a lot. So once you fit in that category, 11th and 12th, you are bound to take coaching classes for JEE engineering. So that was my inclination. Engineering, IIT is something that I want to do. And I joined a reputed coaching class in 11th start after 10th JML. And within 4 days, I was out of there. I said, I cannot sit in those classes for 8 hours for the next 2 years of my life, just studying for an exam. And there's no guarantee that I'm going to crack it or not. So I came back home. And by home, I mean JML ISC. And again, I joined science, and and I was of that mindset that I'm done with engineering. I do want to prepare for engineering, and I came across this quote by Robin Sharma: "Don't be the prisoner of your past; be the architect of your future." So architecture is something that I thought of. Looking at buildings, I thought, why can't I design? What if I'm the one designing those buildings? I'll be an architect. So in 11th, I joined a coaching class for NATA, which is the entrance exam for architecture. And 1 year down the line, by the way, architecture exam, there's a prerequisite. You need to be good at sketching, drawing. So 1 year down the line, there were people sketching images, and God knows, they were amazing. And I was busy drawing stick figures, trying to make a perfect circle. And it was a reality check for me, like, what am I doing? You need to do something post 12th because JML doesn't have graduation. You cannot come back to school. You need to work out something. So in 1 year's time, it was like this mistake, I would call it. And it just, okay, it's not busting, yeah. So these are the kind of mistakes I've made. And post that, I was able to crack CET and get into a good engineering institute. And luckily, things have been very good post that. In the 3 years of engineering, right now in my 4th year, I'm not yet graduate. So in 3 years, what I've learned is it's very important to keep learning. Today, if you are specializing in one field and you believe that is your calling, then I would advise you stop there, learn a few additional skills. For example, today, if you are solving a problem and your skills are needed by the society. So it's always important to keep learning. And that's one major thing that I believe in: lifelong learning. It may not be something related to your core. For example, I'm studying engineering, so it's not necessary that I uh, acquire additional engineering skills as such. I can study anything and everything that interests me, and that is what's going to be the game changer in the future. So keep saying yes to life. In 3 years of college till now, what I've uh, learned is keep saying yes. You never know what opportunity may take you. It's an amazing thing. The moment you say yes, doors are going to open, avenues are going to open, and things are going to be great. Somewhere you need to, you'll have a calling saying that, okay, I'm glad I took this decision and it's good to be here. For example, I took up filmmaking when I was in engineering. And during our first year, we made a film and we lost a competition. And that really, but that did not matter because we enjoyed that journey. And if you're enjoying something, then it's nothing else matters. It's not the destination, it's that journey. That was a strong belief system that I had. The journey should be smooth. And as in when you keep evolving, you will set targets for yourself. The first year when we lost the filmmaking competition, we left that hall thinking next year when we come back, we want to be on stage winning that competition. And that's the power of thoughts. Next year we were on stage holding that trophy out of 32,000 odd participants in filmmaking. So I mean, it's a great journey. Keep saying yes. You never know what surprises are waiting for you. But if you're limiting yourselves and saying no, then you're losing out a lot on life. I would like to quote this example of the Chotoleka Bridge, which is in US. It is an engineering marvel, and the bridge was made over the Chotoleka River, and it connected two roads. And the area was prone to storms and hurricanes. So right after the bridge was made, that area was hit by a hurricane. The roads on either side were damaged, and the river changed its course. So the bridge stays strong today, but it is a bridge to nowhere. So my point being, today you are solving a problem, but tomorrow that problem may not exist. Then what are you solving? So keep evolving is my one major thing that I would like to stress on. Lifelong learning, that is the skill that JML has taught us. Don't just stick to your books. Academics is definitely important, but what's more important is to acquire more skills. Recently in March 2020, the pandemic was just starting out in India, and we all know the kind of scenarios going on in the market. Sanitizers, people were mad after sanitizers. We need sanitizers. And unfortunately, people were just putting in water in bottles and selling them as sanitizers at exorbitant prices. So at this stage, I thought, why not use my knowledge as a chemical engineer and help the society? So a few of my friends, I think, who are here listening to me, we created around 600 odd bottles of sanitizers and donated 400 out of those 600 into the public. And believe me, that was an amazing feeling. Okay, I see Debjani Miss correcting my pronunciation. I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm still struggling with those. Anyway, moving on. See again, so everything you say yes to life, you keep learning. So today I again learned my pronunciation needs to be worked on. So everything, just keep saying yes to life. Okay, moving on. So that donating sanitizers was it was a very small thing that we did, but those minor changes have major impacts on you. So that was one life-changing moment that we went through. 3 months down the line, when I started my new venture under the name of New Normal Technologies, we started with providing UV disinfection solutions to corporates, to households. And when I started, if you would tell me that a corporate is going to be your client, I would have laughed. I am just a normal kid. Why would a corporate come to me for consultancy? And 2.5 months down, I have L&T as one of my customers. And when I went down to L&T Powai to help them restart their offices, the first thing they told me, "Arey, tum to bacche ho." To that I replied, "Sir, I may be a kid, but I can help you out here." And the way I presented myself, the way I gave them solutions to their problems, they were amazed. They were out of words that their experienced team could not solve. I solved those issues in 5 to 10 minutes. Again, how did this happen? The power of thought. You decide you want to do something, you go ahead with it. You don't waste your time thinking about the consequences that are going to follow. Start acting, and then consequences you can deal later on. But if you're just imagining what is going to happen, will I be successful, then your journey stopped there. The key is to keep moving. Recently, being a fourth year engineering student, I was eligible to sit for placements, and a top company, I was shortlisted in the top 40 for the recruitment process. And during the HR round, a telephonic interview, the interviewer was totally impressed by the knowledge I had. He spoke to me for 45 minutes and he asked me one question: how do you know so much about supply chain? Like, how do you know so much? You are just an engineering student. Then I told him, "Sir, I do have a startup, and I also I keep learning. I keep." To that he replied, "We are sorry, we don't think you are a good fit for our company as an employee. Probably we can have you as a client later." So that is the kind of response I got from a company who had come to employ me. Initially, I was very sad, like, I'm a perfect fit. Why aren't they taking me? But then I realized whatever happened for good, and to some extent he did make sense. Why would I work for them when I'm already doing those things on my own? So the key is to keep trying. Don't let your setbacks define you. And there will be hurdles at every stage, but let those hurdles not stop you. And what is most important is to have mentors. If you don't have mentors in your life, then I mean, you need to have people around you. Fortunately, that peers, grandparents, parents, family, professors, I'm so happy to see my school teachers here, my college professors here, my friends here who are out there. This journey wouldn't have been possible without any one of them. And they are the ones who advise you, and those advices will change you, they will make you, and it's a great experience. So do have mentors. And remember one thing, if you see someone on stage and you are impressed by them, then stop. Never be impressed by someone, be inspired. That is one key takeaway that I always keep in mind. Don't be impressed, be inspired. And don't dream, aspire, because dreams are something that will require effortless sleeping, and aspirations are something that will require sleepless effort. So be ready, put in sleepless efforts, and you will be successful. And somewhere, the trial and error method, you will find your calling, and it's going to be an amazing journey. So just be open minded and say yes to life. I think I would like to conclude by that statement.
Thank you, Malav. Please ask your questions in the chat box, and I'm sure Malav would be happy to answer all of them. And also a good reminder, Aishwarya cannot answer the questions right now because she's in the middle of some law and order problems. Therefore, she has put her email ID in the chat. Anyone who has questions, feel free to ask them on her email ID. Malav.
Yeah.
So I don't know who is reading out the questions, but until I guess until someone does, Malav, may I take the liberty of inviting you back to school one of these days, and to take a look at the we have created a safe environment at our school to welcome the kids back whenever the situation permits. I'd be very grateful if you could come and audit that.
I would love to do that. So I stay 5 minutes away from school. I'm just a call away. Let me know when you need me to come. I'll drop by.
I'll definitely do that.
So I think I've got one question here. How do you deal with failure when you take up new things? Okay, so one thing is you are going to fail. That is one thing for sure. Keep that in mind. But the key is you cry for 2 days if you want, and it's important to cry. You need to realize that you have failed, because if you don't realize you have failed, you are not going to learn from it. And then whatever mistakes you made, ensure that you don't repeat those mistakes. For example, I would just say, if I wanted that job interview, if I wanted to crack it, I shouldn't have told him that I have my own startup and I'm doing so much. So I learned that the next interview that I go for, I don't need to speak more than asked. So that's how you deal with failure, and be mentally strong and have people around you. I think next topic is how, Geeta ma'am, how are you managing to do so much? Okay. Even I don't know how do I manage to do so much, but it's just that I want to do something more. I want to keep going, and that is what keeps me. I see some opportunity, I see some minute scope that, okay, I can do this, I do it. I don't think twice. And even in school, if you remember, I used to take up many things. Sometimes they used to be a burden, like I've taken up so much, but at the end, I used to manage it. So time management is one important thing. So I still wake up as early as possible. So the earlier you wake up, the more time you get. Everyone gets 24 hours, right? So it's how we utilize those 24 hours. Then Arpita ma'am is, what keeps you so motivated all the time? Actually, I'm not motivated all the time. Sometimes even I'm lazy. But it's again that the people around you. It's, you need to, if you it's, I always thought that it was the journey that mattered, not the destination. But what's more important is, it's not the journey, not the destination, it is the company surrounding you. So even if you are stopping, someone else is moving, and that supports you and that motivates you to move along with them. So it's again those around you that keep you motivated, because if you are down, someone else will lift you up, and someone else is down, it is your responsibility to lift them up. How do you realize your passion, like what it is? So my passion is to create businesses. Like I like to create business opportunities and help give back to the society. So right now also in our new startup, a few of my teammates are here. One major thing that we had in mind was the profits that we earn should be going back to the society. So that is where my true passion lies. You earn, you give. And setting up businesses is something that I realize is my calling. And positive approach. You've already reached heights. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Geeta Miss is saying, because the students complain all the time that they have no time for anything. Okay, thank you. So just a small thing. If you're even I in 9th and 10th, even I used to complain because of the lack of time. How do I study? There are tuitions, there is school. So there is no time in 9th and 10th, I agree. But it's again that motivation in you that you want to be somewhere. Like even Aishwarya said in the starting that it is you. You see a target and you are at the bottom of, you're at the ground level and you see a peak. So there is nothing in between it except yourself. So you need to decide mentally, you need to commit yourself that I want it, and then you'll be unstoppable. Uh, Okay, Ishamas is saying, do you think Jack of all and Master of none is not the name of the game anymore, but exactly the opposite? In fact, yeah, I totally agree. I like to use this line that I like to be the Jack of all trades and Master of none, because today, if I'm the Master, tomorrow I may not be. But today, if I'm the Jack, tomorrow also I'm going to be the Jack. So that is something I like to create. I like to make my motto. And one more thing is Doris Miss. I don't think she's here, but during a ISE, she used this line: "It is not your aptitude, but your attitude that decides your altitude." So always have a positive attitude, and you've won half of your battles there. Krish Patel, I want to invest in your startup. When are you floating your company? You can come join me. We have a team of around 20-30 people, and we are an average age of 21, 22 years olds. So again, if any one of you all want to join in, work, experience how we are planning out stuff, you are most welcome to join us. Okay, I'm good. I'm getting many questions. Can someone read out, Krish? I'm not able to keep track here.
Is being outstanding in a peer group a tough situation for you?
Okay. Sometimes it is, because not everyone is at the same wavelength as you are. So sometimes it is a problem, but again, to be together, you have to keep setbacks. You need to keep prejudices away when you are in a group, and sometimes you need to uh, take a step back. So sometimes it's a problem, but again, how you deal with it is what's important.
Who is that one person who motivated you all the time?
Who is that one person? I mean, there are many. That one person is many people. So I mean, it's specific to the field. Suppose if I'm stuck in your motivation, there is no one person, I would say. It can be anyone. I like to play cricket a lot, so sometimes as a bowler you get hit for boundaries in the very first over. So what motivates you? The wicket keeper coming from behind and telling you it's okay. So that's a motivation from you. Your captain is there in the side and he tells you ठीक है और एक six खाएगा और क्या, wicket तो मिलेगा बाद में. That can be a motivation. When you're academically not performing well, your friend comes and explains you a concept which you've been trying to learn for 5 hours in 5 minutes. That is a motivation to you. I mean, your teachers will be your biggest motivation, because they'll be the guiding force. And today I made a point to call up or either message most of my old teachers from 11th, 12th. And when I saw the mailing list, I was so overwhelmed to have all the teachers here. So teachers are the biggest source of motivation you will find.
Do you come across corruption in your field? If yes, how do you cope with it?
Okay, so corruption in my field. I don't have a lot of corporate experience as such, but it's always there. Like corruption as such, I've faced a few clients because in the corporates where they prefer buying a product for double the price that I'm offering only because they have contacts, and the purchase managers in those corporates get a cut. So it's all a experience that I gained. So there were a few purchase managers who did not buy from us, even though our product was a superior quality. because we were not able to give them a percentage cut of the orders that we were getting. So corruption is going to be there. Again, it's how you deal. Sometimes you need to take the hints and offer them. You need to find a way out. You need to offer them something more. And it's all a part and parcel of doing business, I would say. But corruption, again, it's there. And you can cry about it or you can leave it, forget it. It's again how you deal with it. My first experience was I felt sad about it. Second experience was it's normal. And third experience was okay, I know how to deal with it.
Thank you, Malav, for those wonderful words.